Hello, hello. Happy weekend. Thank you so much for joining me today on my marriage masterclass or Ask Love Coach. On this channel, our goal is to expose as much as possible marriage issues, relationship issues. Not only are we exposing them to you, but we're also giving you some techniques, some tips on how to navigate that institution. I will always stand by my words from the beginning. I've always said that marriage is a beautiful thing, love is a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, we tend to have this narrative about relationship and love. People, unfortunately, a lot of people tend to use what they see on social media to justify the irrelevance of marriage and of love in general. Like a lot of people think love is about transactions. Some people think it's sham. Some people think it's not real. And the narrative for many is that people are not married people are not happy. That can only be true just because a lot of them lack knowledge. A lot of them lack understanding of the institution they find themselves. A lot of them picked wrongly. So it can reflect in that manner. But the truth is, with the amount of knowledge and information you have, especially if you're single, and that is why for me, I have special interest for people who are single, just so they can have good guidance. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when you have a lot of information, resources, a lot of people talking about relationships, and it seems daunting and confusing, and sometimes it's difficult to apply it. That's why I am here. So are so many people. I'm here to support anyone who is interested in any form of guidance. When it comes to aligning yourself and picking most likely the best partner possible. You know, um, the fact that you have all the knowledge, all the information, all the guidance does not mean there might not be some, misunderstanding or mispicking. So but at least it's much better when you have knowledge and information. You're able to do things differently as opposed to someone who just walked into it and here I am experiencing life and it seems as if what the heck did I find myself into. Anywho, I don't want to digress too much, but it's in line with what this channel represents. We are here advocating for healthy, happy, long-lasting, love-filled relationships. A lot of people are actually in a very fulfilling relationships and marriages. Just that you don't get to see them except you know them in person. A lot of them are not on social media. They just take their business to social media, pretty much strictly business. But a lot of healthy couples are not on social media. They might have some healthy couples, but a lot of the people who come across, sometimes just camouflage. It might not be real because it's baffling to see people who come across like this perfect couples and few months down the line you hear they are no longer together and they were just making some beautiful skits about love and love and love. So sometimes it's kind of confusing to see that on social media. But I must say they have a lot of healthy couples. Every couple is not toxic. So today I'm going to be addressing one of the most difficult and most problematic problems for many couples. Infidelity. I'm sure A lot of people may have experienced it or they are currently experiencing it. Whatever that might be for you, I'm here to talk about it. Hopefully, you're able to learn one or two things from today's class. So, how to resolve cheating problems in a relationship and marriage in just 5 powerful steps. The 5 steps, I crafted these 5 steps because I know that that's what it takes for anybody who is truly looking to resolve their cheating problems or issues. First and foremost, I would like to stress the fact that for somebody to apply this or for somebody to be willing at all to use these steps I've provided, their mindset must be right. They have to be truthfully ready within themselves, not like they are trying to please their partner, because oftentimes people do what they are not convinced in their spirit to do, but they just do it just because they don't want their partner to leave or because they don't want their partner to feel as if they are unserious. So pretty much they are doing it to show a face or cover their face, but it's not truly from a place of I want to change, not truly from an honest place. So it becomes a struggle, it's stressful, it becomes really difficult and challenging, not just for the person who has betrayed the relationship, but also for the person that was betrayed. This model will only work for people who are sincere about the change. If you're not sincere about the change, then there's no need. Oftentimes, my clients will ask me why, their partners cheat, even though they have been honest and sincere with them in the relationship, like they've put in a lot of work. They pretty much tick all the boxes, within the relationship. Yet they're experiencing this. This can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. Like you can't be cheated on. You can only vouch for yourself, not for the other person. But one thing I must say is this. Cheating happens so when somebody cheats, there are a lot of reasons why they cheat. But the cheating in itself is not the real cause of what you're experiencing. What you're experiencing is more like it's more like how do I put it? So it's more like a symptom of a disease someone is carrying. Like when people, let's say somebody has got cold or pneumonia, they start off by coughing or have running nose, or I don't know the symptoms of pneumonia, by the way, but I'm just imagining since it's caused by cold. So they could be having runny nose and they are, coughing. When you look at it, you might just say this is flu. They have runny nose. So that's the symptom. But until you diagnose the person, you will find out they are actually suffering from a more deeper issues, which is pneumonia. Now you want to, expand your medication, not just simply take paracetamol or Tylenol for some people in certain parts of the world. So, but paracetamol in generally. So, cheating is just the symptom. These people have deep-rooted, issues. So that vacuum is what they are looking to fulfill. They want to fill the vacuum. So they tend to act out by doing what they are doing. So you, the partner who is allowing such behavior, somehow can be that you're co-signing to the behavior by tolerating that to begin with. Excuse me. So oftentimes it's almost as if you're also to be blamed because you are allowing yourself to stay in the relationship despite how you feel about what happened. But I understand as well that cheating is not does not mean the same thing for everybody. Some people can cope with a cheating partner while some can't. So you can't use your own evaluation of feelings to judge or expect everyone else to act in the same manner. So, excuse me. And most often, you can also expect everybody to just pack up and leave when they don't have exit plan or when they don't have, any motivation whatsoever. In some cases, it's not as easy as just pack up and leave because they may have a lot of investments together, a lot of ties, which cannot just easily be untied. So it depends on where people are. For me, when I work with clients, it's important for me to meet them where they are, and they are able to explore their opportunities. By the way, the essence of this video today is just to help someone who is confused, somebody who is unsure how to even navigate this issue. And I understand that everything does not mean run to therapy. Therapy is a great place for people to go to explore a lot of this, mental health issues. But many of us cannot afford therapy. But if you can, I would always suggest that because it's a quicker or surest way for you to figure out, the underlying issues you have that is actually making you to go this route. So, for somebody who may not know how to, may not want to go to therapy, they just want to figure this out by themselves. These powerful steps will help you whether you're in therapy or not. Hopefully your therapist will give you some, strategies as well. So it's a win-win for you at the end of the day because you're having access to unpaid, tips and ideas and strategies from just being part of this community. So let's dive right in. So, but one thing with, like I said before, a lot of people who cheat, they are looking to fill a vacuum. So there's a hole somewhere in their soul. They are looking to, excuse me, they are looking to fill. So whenever there is any what do you call it, any triggers from their relationship, they tend to act out. Some people take drugs, some people watch pornography, some people, but there's something that feeds that vacuum, it just kind of numbs it for them. But when you want to truly like heal and walk through whatever the underlying issues are, these are the steps you need to follow. Oftentimes, all of these behaviors kind of help the individual to numb their pain, instead of facing it head on and figuring out how to actually repent from it. So step number one will be for you to deeply reflect. Reflection is a powerful tool that most of us undermine. So deeply reflecting on self will require you to take yourself back to as far as when you were a little child, if you can remember that, or as far as you can, any experience that you can link to the present behavior. So you're going to be looking at your past, you're going to travel to your present as well as to your future. I understand that a lot of reflection is more towards past, because you're reflecting on the actions that had already been completed or done. But the way I want you to deeply reflect, so you are going to travel back all the way to your past. and you're going to travel forward to your present, and you're going to also imagine your future so that you can see. It's more like your future is more like the motivation for you to want to actually change. Like I said from the beginning of this video, this is for somebody who is truly deeply interested in working through these cheating issues. Not for somebody who is trying to put on a front for their spouse or their partner just to help them to shush. Because I understand a lot of people, they do things just to make the other person relax and feel as if they are truly sorry and they are working towards any issues. No, this is for somebody who truly say to themselves, not because my partner is been poking me, change, change, change. No, I really want to change for myself and for my family or for my spouse. But the first person who actually needs this is you. Like, you are the one who is truly eager to make the change. So you're going to be asking yourself, this is an exercise, something that you have to, so it's not for you to just read it and just forget it. No, you're going to have a workbook and truly sit in the questions I've suggested for you to walk through, for you to figure out where this is coming from. Because when you don't know where it's coming from, you can't heal it. You're going to be asking yourself, what is my perspective about cheating? For so many, it's normal. Cheating is nothing. Like, it's not even supposed to be a big deal. Like, what's the issue with cheating? Like, this should be normal. So some people are surprised that you're angry or upset by their cheating. Like, it should be acceptable. Like, what's your problem? They actually think you're the one with issues, because their perspective about it is this is normal, especially if it's what they saw their entire life in the community where they lived. It's common, like literally all their friends, all their family members, this is normal. So they assume this is normal. So when they meet someone who comes from a different background and have a completely different perspective, they are surprised by your by your surprise. So you want to dig deeper into your perspective, because your perspective definitely comes from somewhere. Where does it come from? You have to know the why. Everything, you can see that when it comes to your past, I'm adding why at the end of every point. The why is for you to not just say yes or no. The why is for you to truly have context to where this is coming from. So you're not just having one line of answer. You are actually creating a scenario, like painting a picture of where the thought process comes from. Very important. So when you understand your perspective, like I just gave an example of people who may have experienced it the entire time. It could be that it's not even the whole community, but maybe their household, the household where they were raised. So does anyone does anything about your childhood or from the childhood represent this behavior? And the why. The why here is not for you to say you know why the person you saw was doing what they were doing, because of course you're not the person, so you don't know the history behind them, because they will have to answer the question themselves. But the why here is more for you to, you know, look at it from why you see it, why you think of it in that manner. But I've heard about, there's this story, I don't even know where I heard it from, but two boys raised by their single father. One grew up was a drunkard because the father was a drunkard, like the father drinks. That was an alcoholic. And one of the boys grew up exactly like the father. He became an alcoholic. Why the other one never tested alcohol? Never. When they asked them, these are two people raised by the same person, but they have completely different experiences in the household. One said, because of what I saw. What did you see? My father was an alcoholic. So that's all I know. The other one, why don't you drink? Why are you not an alcoholic because of what I saw growing up. And they said, what did you see growing up? Because my father was an alcoholic. But the way this person processes is because they didn't like what they saw. He didn't like what he saw when the father was drunk, his behavior. So he vowed to himself, never will I ever be this person. Why the other person, the other brother, repeated exactly what he saw. You can see that people. That's why it's so interesting. Another analogy for me here will be: have you ever seen two people that went to see a movie, and they narrate the stories completely differently, like totally differently? They sat down together, they started watching the movie too. So it's not like somebody came after 15 minutes or 10 minutes and they missed some parts. No, no, no. They sat down together, they started the movie together. So they watched it from beginning to the end. But they had different experiences watching the movies. So it's the same. The way you see life, even though we were raised in the same family, the way my brother explained his childhood is completely different to how I explain my childhood. So it's not right or wrong. That's your experience. That's your story. So back to the why. The why here is not for you to uh, figure out why who you saw behave the way they behave, but why you saw it and interpreted it that way. Again, it's not about right or wrong. This is more like time travel. That's what you're doing with your past. Does anything from my community represent this? What instigates this behavior? You're exploring. What you're doing is you're exploring every angle, every aspect. Every aspect. That is what you're exploring. So as you are exploring all of this, remember, it's very much still about the cheating. You are collecting all of this information, all of this, from different aspects and perspective for yourself. You are going to bear in mind that if my partner did this to me, would that be okay? Why wouldn't it be okay? This particular number 5 question is a bit tricky. It's tricky because that would give you a lot of perspective to what you've answered from 1 to 4. Because if you say, my perspective about cheating is that cheating is nothing, it's just some body count, or it's just some fun exercise, or it's just normal, like what's the big deal here, like what's the problem, like this is okay, this is normal. And we get to number 5 and all of a sudden you're going to justify that it's not normal, then you have to fill in the gap. Because if it's normal, that means you should expect this to be done to you as well and see it as normal. You can't say this is normal for number 1, this is normal, this is okay, this is what I saw, this is my perspective, this is pretty much it, and you get to number 5 and you're going to tell me this is not acceptable. Because now the pattern is different, it's changed. That means you know better. So again, you're going to answer each and every one of the questions without overthinking it. You're just going to take yourself back as far as possible. You're going to, let's say, happen to a close person, say within the household you were in, not even like far away next door or anything of that nature. You're going to try and pick all of the pictures you can remember. Then when you come to present, you're going to also be asking yourself your whys. Because the truth is, cheating takes time. It takes plans. It takes a lot. It's not something you just get up and go and do. No. You would have been in contact with whoever you're targeting or whoever you're interested in. I think targeting is a bit harsh. Okay. Somebody you're interested in. Okay. You would have been in touch with whoever you're interested in. You people may have been flirting on wherever you met, let's say in person, maybe you work together, maybe it's online. You collected the person's number, you guys have been talking, you've been texting, you've been meeting up, you've been in some cases sending them gifts here and there. So you can see there's some thoughts and planning and actions in between it. So it's not like you just got up and off you go. So in this moment, you're going to be asking yourself, whilst I'm in a relationship and I'm doing what I'm doing, why am I doing it? Remember, this is your reflection exercise. The deep self-reflection exercise requires you to activate your brain and get it working. You have to be thinking the entire time. Take a break if you have to. But this exercise is going to expose and explore a lot for you. And that's why I'm walking through each and every one of them so that you can understand where we're going with this whole topic. This is very in-depth. So, you are doing what you're doing because, I want you to finish the sentence. I'm doing it because I don't feel I've valued in my relationship, or because I'm not getting the kind of attention I need, because I'm not happy. So because of whatever the reason is, because you are not just doing what you're doing for the fun of it. There's a point in the relationship you're in where you felt certain way and you thought, okay, now I see somebody and I'm going to appreciate the person. Now I'm going to ask for their number. Now I'm going to, message them. Let's say you met, or however you met this person. Now I'm going to invite them out. So what comes to your mind at every given time? What is it you're looking for this person that you're not getting from your relationship? So let's say it's lack of, maybe you don't feel appreciated in your relationship. You're going to consider where this is coming from. What vacuum are you looking to fill? So when you figure that out, you're able to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why is it that I don't feel fulfilled in this relationship? What about my past? When at some point in my childhood did I feel unfulfilled? Because it's a fear of something. What fear is this? How would you describe this fear? Am I feeling this way just because? Why is it that I feel this way? Like what about this? What about this feeling? What's about this feeling that I feel? Why is it that I feel this way? Because that's the vacuum you're trying to fill. Whenever you think of, I need to go see someone else, I need to go get something else that perhaps is missing from this relationship, or I'm not happy about this relationship, I'm going to go do it. Because if you could boldly tell your partner that this is how I'm feeling, this is what I need, and this is how I'm going to go about it, most likely It could be simply, monogamous issue or polygamous issue, whatever that is. You can also explore this behavior in a different way by asking yourself what you like about this behavior and what it is you don't like. What is about this behavior that I don't like? Do I really enjoy what I'm doing? Like, is it like whenever I finish doing it, I start feeling guilty? Because a lot of the vacuums that you are looking to fill stem from somewhere. Did you have terrible relationship with your primary caregivers? Did you feel you never felt valued, or you never felt appreciated, or they never validated your essence or your relevance, or there's this I fear to be left, like, why? Because all of these things, you have all the answers, but you just need to sit within yourself to explore these thoughts, and that would help you. That's why I say this is not something you have to deal with passively. As much as possible, I want you to record every experience that you get. You may not be able to answer all of these questions in one sitting or in one go, but the thought of it, how you direct your thoughts, will help you to expand, the insights you get within yourself. As you are connecting these experiences with your past, you're able to visualize how you want to move forward and the benefits of you moving forward. In most cases, people who have used this exercise at the present stage, they tend to back off because it's like, I have to be honest with myself, I'm not ready. Based on the insights I already know about myself, just walking through this exercise, I can tell this is how I'm feeling already. And that's okay. So while you have gained a bit of insight, just exploring your mind and just your past and the whole thing, that a lot of this will stir a lot of emotions. And I promise you, some of the emotions and some of the thoughts, you have buried it like it's just dormant somewhere. You're going to be activating all of these things because you know the experience and where it stems from. While you are exploring these thoughts, like I said, write them down, because that's how you get to maybe go back to read what you've written down, and you can even add or cancel some parts out. At this point, while you have come to the present, you're going to start imagining the future. If I'm not proud of my behavior, what do I need to do to fix this? What do I need to fix this? So you're going to start using different kinds of tools. Journaling being one of them. Journaling, you have to have an action plan. You have to have an action plan. You have to start thinking, how do I fix this? Because all of these powers kind of lie in your hand. Like, you have the power to fix it. Nobody will help you fix this. Even if you go to therapy, if you like, sleep there. Nothing will change if you are not determined to do what is needed or required for you to do to start the transformation. Because until you have the mindset shift, what the training we're going through today is, because my background is transformational coaching. Relationship coaching is like the end result of all of this knowledge and experiences I've acquired over the years. But again, a lot of changes, transformational changes come from the soul, from the mind. until you work out those issues that are deep rooted in your soul, you will not truly be transformed. For you to truly transform, you have to have that shift. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. But when you, that's why I added the future on this deep reflection, because oftentimes reflection focuses more on the past. But when you see the future a bit clearer, that would serve as a motivation for you to decide that I need to stretch it out. I need to sweat it out. I need to push it forward. Like I need to do whatever I need to do to get it done. So you will have to create this plan. If I tell you what to do, you might think it's too much. Or maybe, you might fall off the cliff and feel overwhelmed. But when you give yourself the task, you're most likely going to stick with it because you know your capacity. And like I said, the goal and the first instance for anyone using this template will be to actually decide and be honest with where they are with moving forward. A lot of the exercises will literally tell you, just script this, forget this. But when you are looking at the future and the result, the goal, that would help you to actually press on. So what needs to be changed? If you're happy with what you're doing and how that is affecting your marriage or your relationship, don't change nothing. But if you want to have a different experience in that relationship and you're truly eager and willing to do something, then keep listening. So you're going to be checking in what else you need to do. What else needs to be done? You are the one answering all those questions, by the way. You don't have to invite your partner to come and help you explore. No, this is you doing your work. You're going to be doing the exploration yourself. You're going to be the one, working all of this out, because you're the one who is carrying the disease. Remember, I said cheating is a symptom of a disease. So whatever the disease is, you're going to be the one doing the work, taking the medication. So from deep self-reflection, the next step will be for you to also have self-awareness. When I say self-awareness, I mean deep. You can see I start everything with deep, especially the self-reflection and the self-awareness. It's not surfacey, like it's really deep, like you're going deep down, like you're going to actually stir some things and work yourself out. So deep self-awareness. A lot of us are not aware of self. So when you have deeply reflected upon this and you kind of can see the trend and see how things panned out, and you're able to actually know why you're doing what you're doing, as opposed to just freelancing things, just letting it pan out and see how it goes. No, now you can actually connect it to a source, because you're now self-aware. You know what triggers you, you know what makes you think, you know what stirs you, you know why you're doing what you're doing, as opposed to I really don't know, I just do them. I don't have that self-control. I can't control this desire. I can't control when I see a man with six packs or a woman with figure eight, or what have you. Like, I just don't have that kind of zeal. Like, I don't have that kind of, I'm not that strong. So as you are connecting with self, you're able to create boundaries. You're able to understand what you value, like what are your core values. You're able to identify your struggles and your insecurities. What are the real reasons for cheating and what actions do I need to take to stop this behavior? You have to make a list of the habits that you're currently doing. Like some people, they are constantly, on social media, messaging women, sending them gifts, doing whatever they do. They can, I don't know, like you have to understand your current values and you have to, why you are changing those, sorry, you have to understand your habits, why you're changing your current habit, but because clearly it hasn't really helped you very much. You're going to now create a new habit. You will create the new habit. You have to create new habits. That new habit is going to be where your boundaries are housed. You have to know what these boundaries are. A lot of people still have, contact with their exes, and they have this open access where, we're so cool. You're familiar, this is a familiar territory. So whenever I come around the city where you are in, we can always hook up and hang out. And some people are cool with it. But does your partner know that this is how you're moving? So these are boundaries you have to create. You have to create the boundaries. Then under the core values, you are actually like finding out about the people in your life. What about them do you like? Because sometimes most of us don't even know what our values are. You're going to be exploring different ways to see where this comes from. What about your family or community inspires you and why? So you can see that a lot of my why has moved from future, now it's come to your core values, because when you know your core values, you know it from the depth of your heart. Like this is what standards you're living by. What are the things in your life that you would like to get rid of, and why do you want to get rid of them? Because all of this, stems from the habits I spoke about. You're going to also explore your childhood a little bit more deeper, and you're going to figure out what about it you liked. And most importantly, what you did not like. So as you are exploring all of these things, you're figuring out what about this life I'm currently living with this person that I need something else that is missing. This is, you can't lie when you're taking this exercise. You must be honest with yourself the entire time. You must be honest with yourself. What are those insecurities? Sometimes you don't have language to it, but you feel the way you feel. Like maybe whenever they raise their voice, you kind of feel certain way because it just chips something away. It makes you feel like you're not valid, whatever that is. So you're gonna again figure out about these childhood experiences that maybe is still following you till today, that's why you're acting the way you're acting. What are you proud of about yourself? What do you really like about yourself? Why am I seeking external validations? Why am I constantly chasing people to approve my character or my personality or whatever it is you're trying to chase? What validation are you looking for? What is it about yourself that is true to you? Because when you understand that whenever somebody does not appreciate me in a certain way, I certainly feel this way, and that's why I'm acting out this way. When you are identifying all of these issues, it will become so clear where the root cause is coming from. And now that you have a name to what you're looking for to solve, you're able to actually create the plan that what we're going to be talking about next. Because until you know yourself in a very deep way, not in a shallow way, you can understand where everything stems from. Why are you always upset? Why are you always, angry? Where does that anger come from? Why is it that the only way to numb this anger is to go and rest in the bosom of someone else? That leads me to self-forgiveness. Because a lot of the time we hold ourselves in bondage. We hold ourselves in bondage and we're not able to move forward with anything. And because we are in that bondage, it's a lot easier for us to just stay there. So forgiveness, self-forgiveness is key. With this exercise, you're going to be based on the information and knowledge of yourself you've discovered through the reflection and self-awareness exercise. You're going to list the things you're forgiving yourself for from the past. I forgive myself for internalizing my mom's, my dad's, my uncle, community, infidelity, whatever it is, but you're going to be able to forgive yourself from that space. You're going to also try to forgive your present. So you're going to be listing all of the things you're forgiving yourself for, from the past, from the present. And the future is a bit different because now you're going to be more showing thankfulness to those new changes you're going to be implementing. So self-forgiveness from the past, present, and the future it's no longer about forgiving the future, and it's not about forgiving the future, but instead you're going to be more like an affirmation for the future, or a gratitude for the future. I thank God, or I'm grateful that I am saved. I'm grateful that I am an honest person, or I'm grateful that I've turned a new leaf. I am not this person. Whatever you want, however you want to put it, but it's more like a word of affirmation to kind of continue to encourage yourself to move forward. Step 4. Since you have come through the reflection, the self-awareness, you have also come to forgive yourself, because once you have forgiven yourself, now you can go to other people to ask for forgiveness. A lot of the time we are quick to ask people to forgive us while we continue to hold ourselves hostage. It's slightly different with step 4. You can see that my first approach is not for you to run to others to forgive you, but for you to forgive yourself first, so that you are going to be more sincere and honest in asking other people to forgive you, because you're operating from a place of forgiveness. A lot of the time when you run to people first to ask for forgiveness when you haven't forgiven yourself, you're bound to not be sincere. You're bound to more of pleasing the people that you've offended, or it's more like from the pleasing side of things, as opposed to you sincerely, asking for their forgiveness, because you have forgiven yourself. It's more like I'm hiding in disguise. Okay? So, while you are going to ask for forgiveness, it's important for you to know what you are asking for forgiveness for. Confession is actually number 4. So, as you are going to ask for people's forgiveness, you're going to also confess to them. So, confess to your partner and to all your affair partners. Because a lot of people know that their partners are cheating, but they don't know to what magnitude. Some might think, oh, it's cheating with one person or cheated with 1 or 2 people, but not knowing that there are hundreds of them. So when you truly want to come clean, you want to actually tell it all. Just tell it all. So you're going to confess to your partner while you ask her for forgiveness, not just forgive me for cheating on you. You're going to truly find a way to embody everything that you have done for them. I'm not saying you're going to say I cheated with 100 people or 10 people or 15 people. No, you don't have to give all of those details, but you're going to sincerely, let them know that you haven't been honest with them. You haven't been the best of yourself, like you never really give yourself to them in that manner. And while you are asking for forgiveness, you're going to also create an atmosphere where they can hold you accountable. You're going to close by telling them, you start by telling them what you're asking for forgiveness for and what you're going to do, because there must be an action that follows through with the forgiveness. Then to the affairs partner, some of them may have played along with you, like they know you have a partner, but they didn't really give it a hoot about whether you have a partner, because for them it's about what they're benefiting from you. Maybe you are their best sex partner so far. So to them it's a pleasure. It's all about the pleasure. Why some maybe you're kind to them and there's something about you that they like. Maybe you're always their saving grace. You're always making them feel special, because of course there's no real commitment here, so it's always the best version of the person showing up. Until they are in a commitment with you, then they see the demon in you, because you're going to do the same thing to them anyways. So you are pleasing their needs while they are pleasing your needs. Whatever the needs are, it's temporary. And a lot of the time, the people you are engaging with are also in need of what you're in need of. So, broken people seeking broken people. So, for some affair partners, of course, is the promise. Some of them sincerely didn't know that you were in a relationship or you're married because you lied to them. They are engaging with you because of the promises you've made to them. So for the ones that are willing participants, of course, you don't need to apologize anything, because they were clear with their own part in the relationship. But especially the ones that are quite the ones that engage without actually knowing that, of course, this is all gimmicks for you. You need to also connect with each one of them, with your partner sitting next to you, your current partner, your wife, your husband, your partner, whoever is the cheating person. You have to make sure you're sitting with your partner while you are actually asking for these people's forgiveness. If you're meeting them in person, it's video calls. You're going to truly call them and express what you are asking them for forgiveness for, and what you need, what you're going to be doing, just like you did with your partner, with them. So it could be something like this, you know, that you're sorry for deceiving them and leading them on when you know there's no future with them. That was the only way you could get their attention. So you were operating from your low self. Um, you really want to seek forgiveness from them because you understand that you hurt them, and you're going to make a new promise. The new promise will be, I will not be engaging with you anymore because I'm married or I'm in a relationship. I will not be, I'll be deleting your number. um, I want to cut all ties with you because anything I'm going to be doing with you is still not from a place of honesty. I'm operating from my low self. So I won't want to be engaging with you in any shape or form because I want to stay focused in my present relationship. And I'm really sorry for hurting you. However, you want to craft it, give them those detailed information about what you've done to them. Best believe that some of them will slam you, will cuss you out, will express their emotion, maybe in a very intense way that you might be put off or not like. However, they want to express themselves, you have to give them the grace to feel free to do so. That's why it's important for you to forgive yourself fast, because you might be damned by their behavior if you go the other way around. Go to them and ask for forgiveness, because some of them might just ditch you and you will just blaze out. But if you forgive yourself first, you will see that you give them grace to take their time to process whatever it is you'll be talking to them about. And when they come to terms with, actually, I appreciate the fact that this guy has realized this mistake, or this woman has realized her mistake and she's coming clean, since this is where we are, what can I do? Just life continues. Some might end up appreciating the courage you had or you have to come and confess to them and ask for their forgiveness. Why some would be like, every woman is like this or every man is like this. So here we go. Life is life in whatever that might look like. But you would have to, as much as possible, ask for forgiveness while your partner is sitting next to you. Because what you're trying to do now is you're changing your habit. Remember, before you were hiding, sneaking around, texting and messaging and calling and connecting with these people. So now with the new habit, you're going to be more transparent. But once again, you are going to be making the changes that requires you to actually move forward as you go through the work and your healing process. Remember, this is healing work. This is healing work. So the last step is for you to create the boundaries using SMART goals. You are not just going to write down the list of the boundaries you're creating, because this is how you're going to be navigating your relationship going forward. You're going to be specific with those goals. You're going to be measuring those goals because you want to keep checking. You have to keep checking the list. You have to keep going back and forth, because that's how growth happens. It's like you have your KPI. You're checking, which area do I need to work on? Am I elapsing on this side or not? Because as you are doing that consistently, because at the end of the day, healing, is a consistent journey. So you cannot say you've healed and you're doing all of the things you're doing. If you are working towards the healing process and you eventually get to the point, now it's a new habit for you. All of those things that used to make you feel, that used to trigger you, will no longer trigger you. All of those things that excite you will no longer be exciting to you, because you're operating on a different frequency. Your mindset has shifted. Your approach is different. Your habits are different. It's like you're a new being. You can see the people you frolic with and will not be moved by anything of them, because you are operating from a higher frequency. Those things that excited you before would just be like basic. And you're going to be like, wow, what was it about this that actually made me to act so low and behave the way and manner I've been operating? Wow. You see the changes happen. A lot of people will say things like, oh, because whenever I know my weakness, whenever I'm on social media, I lack control. That means you're not working on yourself. When you work on yourself, you can go to social media and browse through the baddest bodies and still not be moved, because you're going to just look at them as human and that's it. You're not going to be lusting after them until you do the work that you need to do, especially if you're in a relationship, you're in a committed relationship. That is exactly my point, because you're operating from a higher self. You can communicate with your partner what needs to change in the relationship, and best bring your best self into the relationship as well, because you can't be asking and needing what you're not giving. One thing with relationship people don't understand is, if people are feeling fulfilled, it's easy to serve one another. But if your goal is to go there to be served and take and keep taking, of course, you're going to just be frustrated at the end of the day, because it will seem as if nothing is really working. So please make sure that you are also giving what you're asking. So you have to, that's why I said you set the goal so that it's something that you can attain. Don't pile your plate with so much. Just give yourself the grace and gradually, like, make sure it's something that you can truly achieve, it's attainable, something that is realistic. Something that is realistic. This is going to be a journey, because it's like you're going through transformation. Remember, true transformation is not immediate and it's not slow as well, but it's determination. And give yourself time. Time bound in the sense that you can always revisit to see what needs to be tweaked and changed in the process of you going through all of this. I really hope that these 5 steps will actually bring the change that you truly desire. And if you think that these 5 steps or these steps might be a little bit of a hassle for you, and you want to work with me or connect with me, my website is there. It's www.makemeyourlovecoach.com. Or you can send me an email, makemeyourlovecoach@yahoo.com, and I'm more than happy to connect with you as well and walk through things with you. But you must make sure that you are determined and willing, so you don't waste my time and I don't waste your time, especially your time. Okay, thank you for listening to me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.